On tonight, and overnight lows will drop down to the mid to upper 20s, sunny mid to upper 40s Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
So Arkansas will inbound it right in front of us. Council will be the trigger man. Ricky drops it into Black. Got to shoot. Black drives the rim. Kick out. Devo. Three-pointer blocked by Radford. Picked up by Washington. That's it. That is it. A&M has won the game. Arkansas wins the ball game. A&M wins the ball game 62-56. The Aggies outscored the Razorbacks 38-23 after halftime.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
It's 62-56, the final inside of Reed Arena. At one point, you thought you were going to win, and then unfortunately, you regressed to what you had done at other points this season on the road and fell apart in the second half. A 17-4 run ended up being the difference after Hefner hit that three to close out the first half, and then they just kept on making them. Wade Taylor was phenomenal in the second half, a word that Eric Musselman loves to use about his players a lot of times, but he had to say that of one of the opposing players last night. It is a recruiting Thursday. Tom Murphy, Richard Davenport, Clay Henry, all with Tommy Kraft and myself, Ty Richardson, this morning. You let that one slip away, dude.
Shot your way out of it in the second half. I mean, 1 of 10 from 3, 2. That's 9 wasted possessions right there. More. I mean, that's a lot of the bottom line of this ball game is shot selection in the second half. And again, you've got a game where you hold a double-digit road lead, only to watch it dwindle and evaporate. And yeah, Hefner's shot right before halftime set a tone going in, and probably, does the outcome become different if he doesn't make that shot? Perhaps. I mean, obviously you take 3 off the board, but that's not the story. I mean, it's the attitude, the confidence, and the shift in that in both teams going into the locker room was much different. The other thing Arkansas didn't do down the stretch is hit critical free throws to keep the game close, to eliminate another possession between the two teams. So, but I thought of a shot selection as much as anything in the second half.
Any relation to the late Hugh Hefner?
I don't know that.
I know the Texas A&M student section was having some fun last night. I have no idea if the Texas A&M basketball player has any relation to the Playboy.
Doubtful. They just discovered girls down there a few years ago.
That's probably true. David already texted in early. He wants to get in here early due to the fact that you got one of your key pieces back in Nick Smith Jr. and he didn't play at all in the second half. We're going to get into what Eric Musselman said about that. And when Bob asked him last night, he didn't say that he was injured or anything like that. He just said, we're going to do whatever, trying to get whatever it takes to win. I'm paraphrasing here and get guys in. But Nick Smith did not play a second in that second half.
He didn't even play 4 minutes in the game. I mean, correct, he did not play in the second 20 minutes, but it's not like he was ever present in the first 20. So, no 0 of 1 from the floor, no points, no rebounds, two turnovers. And I think if you wanted to zero in on why he didn't play, go to that last thing I just mentioned, the 2 turnovers.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable. Now, I'll say this. That's the best defense he's played all year. And he was getting chirped at a little bit. At one point, there was a Texas A&M big man that just kind of bodied him, and I was just kind of confused. I don't know if it was a foul or whatever, but he just like chest bumped him after the play, and I was just kind of looking, and I was like, all right, that'll get him going a little bit. I'll give credit. Nick played great on defense from the short time he was in there, but you mentioned those 2 turnovers. What did Arkansas end up turnover with?
13.
Last night?
I mean, not great.
Horrible.
Not great, but not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're the second worst team in the Southeastern Conference turning the ball over. That stat is not, as Tommy said, great, but it's not atrocious either.
It's not what beat you.
And we talked about headed in. You can't let A&M kill you on the glass. They didn't last night offensively. They had some key rebounds late. I remember a Coleman rebound that he put back up after AB blocked it, and then he still managed to get it up and in. That was a key rebound. You only gave up 2 in the first half. You look at what they did in the first half. They executed the game plan. That's what Muss was talking about. Execution was there. It was not in the second half.
Again, I go back to the shot selection. Seemed like Muss was having to repeat himself a lot in the post-game Zoom last night press conference. I mean, he just kind of laid it out early, and, you know, guys had their questions kind of lined up, and they kept coming kind of from different angles on the same thing. He just kept coming back to, you know, we're not a three-point shooting team. We go 1 for 10, and you allow those guys to go 4 for 5 at one point and 6 for 12 in the second half. You know, 6 for 12 for the game, rather, and 4 or 5 in the second half. There's your ball game. I mean, how many times did he repeat that in one way, shape, or form in that first 5 minutes last night? I mean, you could feel. I know our headline at hitthatline.com was dejected. Eric Musselman. I thought it was frustrated. Eric Musselman, and he's just tired of repeating himself. And I know he kind of had to preview Florida last night. They're just trying to put 40 minutes together right now. I don't think they're thinking about tournament. Just to listen to him last night, they're not thinking about tournament. They're not thinking about anything. Yes, they're thinking about Florida, but how do you put 40 minutes together? And that right now, that's their struggle. And as he mentioned, had a good game plan, thought they followed it in the first half, got away from it in the second half, and you watched the ball game get away from them.
I don't understand how this team can be that bad at shooting threes. I do not understand it. These are college basketball players, and I get it. Not everyone's strength is shooting from long range. Like big man, a lot of times you can't shoot worth the lick. That's fine. That's understandable. But for them to be 331st out of 363 teams in college basketball is mind-boggling to me. And that has not necessarily been a huge strength of Eric Musselman teams. Last year they weren't good, but they had J.D. Note who could fill it up. Stanley Amude could stretch the floor. You even had Chris Likes and occasionally Aldis Toney. But this year it's really Devontae Davis. I know Anthony Black hit one last night. Ricky didn't shoot the ball well from 3. I think Devo ended up, 4 for 9 from 3. You got the box score, Tommy. It is so much more difficult in today's age of college basketball with the athleticism that you see night in, night out. A&M, really good defensive team. Sagging zone. And it was a sagging man push-off zone that Dykes and Tom Hart kept talking about on the broadcast last night. If you can't shoot, your job as a offensive player is extremely difficult to score, especially on the road against a team like Texas A&M.
They'll just let you keep shooting. I mean, why would any opponent right now come out to the three-point line unless you just have a day where you're bottling it up? So, I mean, they're going to let you pull up and hit threes. Devo's the one person that's proven you better guard him a little bit. Everybody else, let him pull the trigger. I mean, Anthony Black was 1 of 2, Council 0 of 3. You asked about Devo's numbers, I think it was 4 of 10 behind the three-point line, and Walsh was 0 of 1. I mean, that's your 5 of 16 last night. You can look at the 4 of 10. 40%'s a good number. Is 10 too many? I don't know. I mean, you'd love for someone to be 4 or 5 like they were in the second half for A&M, but that's not how it works. That's not realistic. But you just had too many shots come from there. As coach, that you're a dribble drive, get free throw attempts, inside scoring team, and when you start putting up that many threes, you're getting away from the game plan. You're getting away from the identity of who you are and what puts points on the board. What puts dollars in the bank for this team? It's not 3-point shots.
But if there's, that's why he's making $4 million and I'm not. If you're just sitting on every single drive and you have no one that can shoot outside of Devo, you've got to be extremely creative, and evidently they weren't enough last night in the second half. Or in the first, just not in the second.
More to get to here as we roll through the morning. Arkansas loses to A&M. They'll play Florida on Saturday at Bud Walton Arena. We're brought to you by the Fence Man. If you own a business, then you need more security or better curb appeal around your business. They can help you with a Fence Man with a great-looking fence, whether it's a wood privacy fence, commercial fencing, whether it's a custom wrought iron installation or powered automatic gates. They've been doing it for more than 40 years with the Fence Man. They can custom install any kind of fencing, gates, or controlled access you're looking for. Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Plenty to get into this morning. DVH announced the starting pitching rotation. You got walk-on tryouts. We got the Chris Beard update and so much more. It is a Recruiting Thursday.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Them hogs, man, hey, them hogs can't do no wrong, fella.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
What's new in 23 at the Golf Nut? Callaway Paradigm Woods and Irons in stock February 24th, and Cobra Aerojet Woods and Irons arriving February 9th. New Titleist Pro V1 will be in stock January 24th, and new golf bags and shoes arriving daily. Book a time on their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play a round of golf on one of their mini courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Where can you get RV Show pricing without the RV Show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breeden RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the long longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Trying to talk to the morning rush, much more important than my real job.
They find Devo in the corner. He's open for a three-pointer, and he buries it.
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
Several texts this morning already coming in and comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch in reaction to Arkansas' 62-56 loss last night. We'll get to some other stuff coming up, but I do want to dive into a few of those this morning before we transition.
Hey, we're brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number to call Ben and his crew. They've been installing satellite systems for more than 25 years. They're a local premier dish dealer, so even if you've received an email or a mailer in your mailbox making you a special offer, they can meet or beat that. So whatever you have, don't go with some anonymous national random offer that's just shown up in your mailbox or your email, because you want to deal with a local company with local people that are there for you should you ever need anything at all moving forward. 3-year price guarantee. Prices start at $79.99 a month. Hopper 3. Installation is free before this weekend. Free voice-activated remotes. Everything you need is there for you with a local company with World of Wireless. 800 number, but it's still a local call. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474.
Dennis in Springdale, our friend at Trucks, points to the free throw shooting last night. Arkansas had several opportunities, not as many as Muss would like to get, but when you go, 7 for 14 from the line, that's typically not going to get it done on the road.
Well, and it's I always point to where were your free throws at in the last 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game when it's winning time. And Arkansas, I think, was 1 for 4 in the last couple of minutes of the ball game. I didn't chart it.
Devo missed 3 straight.
Right. So, I mean, those are the ones that matter. And, to keep it a one-possession game or maybe perhaps put you in the lead. There were some opportunities that free throws could have tied or put you in the lead, and you failed on those. So, yeah, one thing for the game that you go 7 of 14, 50%'s terrible. 14's the problem there as well. You need to be at the line more than 14 times, but what did you shoot down the stretch?
Mm-hmm.
Devo wasn't good.
Devo missed the front end of 1-and-1, and then he also missed 2 straight free throws after getting fouled. Made a great steal on Wade Taylor, and then just couldn't hit. And maybe it's tired legs. Maybe it's just not knocking down shots in pivotal moments what you need to. Regardless, those were big free throws that he missed last night. Some other comments. This one on YouTube from a text. It's the profile, Tommy, is Texas Tech is loser U, asking the question, if Arkansas doesn't make the NCAA tournament and gets invited to the NIT, will they actually accept the bid?
Well, they will, but that talk's way too premature. I mean, this is a team, I don't know what the net ranking is this morning. You lost to number 35 yesterday in the net ranking. I don't know where Arkansas will slide to off of, 23 coming into the game.
Correct.
This is not a loss that ends your year last night.
They're undefeated at home in the conference.
They're number 2 in the conference, and after Alabama's loss last night, they're a game back of the conference lead, that love fest there on A&M at the end of the game. Best conference start in school history.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't lose to Chop Liver last night, so you don't like losing to A&M. It sucks, but you come back home. You can't. That wasn't a must-win in my book last night, and I don't think a lot of people viewed it that way. Saturday becomes paramount now that you beat Florida.
Another comment talking about the sets and the things they're running. I thought Arkansas, and I've said this a couple different times on this program, they are so slow in getting into action against the zone. AB and Devo pass it back and forth. When you see a zone, you immediately get into your set, make a pass, and you got to go. When I watch Virginia basketball, Tony Bennett squad, and it helps that Kaihi Clark's one of the longest tenured players in the ACC, but they go. There's no urgency. You have to play with urgency against a zone, because then you're going to get into bad situations at the end of the shot clock, like many times last night, where you have to chunk up a force 3, which is not your strength. You have to be quicker attacking the zone, passing, dribbling, screening. There's no urgency from this team, and that's, I think, a lot of times the guards get tired because of how many minutes they've logged this year.
I guess I'm just too lazy to do it, but I would love for someone else besides me to chart this and then just give me the information. How many half-court possessions, take away transitions, take away fast breaks, but you set up half-court, come into the half-court, how many first shots come at under 5 on the shot clock with this team? I bet it would be I bet if you could take that number and then compare it to other teams in your league or compare it to the teams you play, it'd probably be shocking how many times Arkansas's first look at the basket comes late. Well, what's that tell you? It's not Norman Dell here. We're going to pass it 6 times and break down the zone and find a good look. This is oftentimes settling for a shot you'd rather not take.
Mm-hmm. This is a comment from Mac on YouTube saying the one-and-done philosophy is overrated. Well, Mac, it worked 2 years ago. I mean, you had Jalen, Devo, and Moses were all starters, and they were guys that initially came in as freshmen. Moses Moody ended up being a lottery pick. Now we know Devo stayed 2 more years. Jalen stayed 1 year. Had 16 rebounds last night, by the way, against the Houston Rockets. Was interviewed on Bally Sports last night. I love that. But no, it works. You just have to combo it with transfers. Muss was talking about it on his radio show this week. High school basketball recruiting in not just basketball but other sports is going to take a step back because of the transfer portal. And I always agree with what Chuck says. When you have a 23-year-old man going against an 18-year-old kid, I was watching Desi Sills punk Grady Dick the other night. Grady Dick's going to be a lottery pick for the Kansas Jayhawks. Desi Sills is not going to sniff the NBA. But Desi's 23 and looks like a guy that can just take you at any point in time, and he did that. And he's got several inches of height less than Grady Dick, but it's a different human being at 23 compared to 18. So you have to combo that.
It's experience. I mean, you're talking about a player with 2 or 3 seasons of college preparation, not just games, but practices, off-season, training, nutrition. But you're just a different human being at 21 or 22 versus 18 or 19 with where you're at confidence-wise. You're still trying. A lot of these kids have never lived anywhere away from home for months on end. Or permanently picked up roots more or less and moved to another place. Some have now with these prep schools. I understand that. But, there's just so much going on in the head of a freshman. Just trying to figure out where things are on campus. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's why freshmen have to become more mature players as the season goes on. I'm not, the book's not completely written on this team yet, but, you need some of these younger players to play at a higher level and play beyond their years before the season's up.
How long did it take you at, I guess, West Ark at the time and then in Russellville at A-Tech for you to get acclimated to your surroundings?
I guess because I did start at what's now UA Fort Smith, I lived at home. I didn't live on campus. Why would I do that when my house was 7 minutes away or 10, whatever it was? And then I lived in my own house at Arkansas Tech. So I never probably had the traditional stuff. But, yeah, you had to figure out where parking was when I went on campus. I never really ate in the cafeteria, so I didn't have to figure out some of those things. But where's the bookstore? Where's the? But I wasn't trying to play basketball or baseball or something else on top of all of that. I didn't have that pressure.
I will say my dad's one of the best pieces of advice he gave me before school is I got there about a week early. He said, walk around to every building that you have to go to this semester. And I didn't first day. From then on, I was good because I just explored the campus all the week before.
So I mean, because they can't find the business, the Walton Business School, that isn't what's causing this basketball. I'm just saying the difference between, to your point, the difference between an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old and just the experience. The experience is going to carry you.
Yeah, you're 100%
It's not all
right.
talent. Well, they're a 5-star. I get it. They're not playing to a 5-star level because they're playing guys that have been doing this a while. Hey, whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver or Table Rock or looking for that trophy brown on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will help you catch them. It's got that famous rolling action they've used for over 100 years. You can work in a slow current or a heavy current. Suspends in the strike zone, helps you catch more fish. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, and at LureNet.com. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Richard joins us next.
Howard Richardson in studio like a seasoned vet this morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service for high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
With Late Model Equipment has a family atmosphere and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com to set your consultation. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo Pig Suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell Woo Pig Fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck. Calling hogs, they go Suey.
Out of there with it comes Council, 3-on-1. Ricky to Black for a two-hand slam. Arkansas converts in transition.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Hopefully Richard Davenport of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports can cheer us up a little bit. I know there's a lot of frustration, as there was from Eric Musselman last night, following a 62-56 loss. We'll talk about some recruiting news coming up with RD in just a sec.
Hey, our friends at Burton Pools and Spas, and they're in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They've been around for more than 44 years, and in that time, they built over 12,000 pools, and they've installed 8,000 hot tubs. That means they got like 20,000 customer families that they consider part of the family at Burton Pools and Spas, and they're there for you. Right now, preseason specials, fiberglass in-ground pools. You can be swimming this summer with Burton's. Save up to $7,000 off. Vinyl finish pools still at 2022 pricing, and get a free salt system or salt generator, so chlorine-free with your pool. So stay healthy, have fun, spend more time together in your own backyard this summer with Burton Pools and Spas. At Burton's, hey, they do more than pools and spas. They build relationships. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
Richard, got the announcement yesterday. Wednesday, March the 1st will be walk-on tryouts. What's the importance of walk-ons still today?
Well, I mean, it helps with the numbers. I mean, you like to have over 100 guys, so you get enough scout guys to be able to help you with practice and also hey, you may just find a diamond in the rough and that you don't know about, and they'll do 40s, they'll do verticals, they'll do pro agility shuttle and broad jump and some other drills, and who knows? The odds are that you just get guys that can kind of help you with the scout teams, but there's always a possibility of maybe somebody being able to help you down the road.
Brandon Burlsworth is the most notable walk-on to walk through Razorback Stadium. You've had Kevin Richardson, Hudson Clark, Grant Morgan, some of the more notable names the last decade or so. Richard, who are some of the walk-ons that you remember that made their way onto the field at Arkansas that had an impact?
Wow, man. I'm always good with these questions because when I'm put on the spot, it's hard for me to remember, but obviously there's been some good ones, and I'm drawing a total blank. I'm not going to lie to you, just the most recent ones. Hayden Henry was one, even though he was more like a blue one. Shirt type. You got so many guys, especially Arkansans, that have walked on and stuck it out and, contributed to the program. But, obviously Burlsworth is the cream of the crop as far as, how you look at walk-ons and, this is the type of guy that you're looking for. But, I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Well, hopefully they'll find a diamond in the rough through that process today. Hey, let's talk about what everyone else talked about this morning. That's this basketball team who goes down to Texas A&M, has a double-digit lead, ends up surrendering that and losing last night. What was your thoughts watching that last night? I'm sure you were frustrated like the rest of us. Yeah,
they flipped the script in the second half. A&M came out, and the defensive intensity was a little higher, and that obviously showed. with Arkansas's offensive, I guess, struggles, and also Arkansas, kind of made it hard on themselves with some of the decision making that they had as far as shot selection and also maybe a few turnovers. But A&M, and you knew they were going to be very, very tough. I mean, they're a very physical team who just blue collar type, kind of like Arkansas, but being at home, and I guess that was the largest crowd of the season or something like that for the Aggies. So they were hyped for that game, but Arkansas had their opportunities, just couldn't convert on some key possessions, and obviously missed some free throws down the line.
We were talking about it yesterday morning. How many minutes Nick Smith going to play tonight? We kind of all agreed it'd be in the 20s, maybe 24, 25 minutes. He gets less than 4 last night. I mean,
we lost that bet.
we took the over, and it was way under last night. What do you think's going on with Nick Smith? Is it just flow of the game and getting back into it? I mean, he goes from 17 minutes in his return to 4 last night. How do we explain that?
Yeah, I just tend to think that it's just going to be one of those type deals. I mean, you come in, even if you're Nick Smith and you produce, you're going to play a little longer, and it just with him being out so long and everything, and trying to get back into the flow, especially the team concept and trying to mesh in with the guys that are obviously been playing the most minutes. It's pretty. I don't know. At times it looks like it's just not working. Even though, I mean, obviously it's just game 2, but I just tend to think the next few games he'll get into the flow. He'll be more comfortable. I mean, it's just hard for him not to be able to practice for the longest, and then just come in, even with maybe a week's worth of practice, and try to play at a high level. I don't care who you are, how good your skill set is. I think it's very difficult, especially with an existing team that has had a rotation that was being very successful, and you're coming in and you're still trying to smooth the edges off, or all the rust and everything. And I just tend to think that there's he's just got to be able to produce and kind of, I don't know, get into the flow of the game with the guys that are currently on the floor.
So is there some teeth to that? Because that's what Jay and Cave Springs thinks. That's what Jimmy on YouTube thinks. The fact that Nick's comeback has disrupted this team. Is there any truth to that, Richard?
I don't know about that. I just think that, when you're a guy that hasn't played competitive basketball for a long time, and you haven't been able to practice very long, yeah, you come in, and I just think that you're not trying to knock off a lot of the rust, and it is, I think if anything, I mean, he can give some of the starters some time on the bench, get them a little bit of rest and everything. But at the same time, I think he had a turnover or 2, something like that. I mean, when you come in, regardless of who you are, you got to produce, and I think especially your margin for error on the road is so much less, and I think that's what contributed to the 4 minutes.
What about this thought? And it comes from Jimmy. Duke had the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Arkansas had the number 2. I think the Razorbacks are 17-9 now. Duke is 18-8. Both teams are still technically in the NCAA tournament field according to bracketology, but not anywhere people expected to be. Are we going to see a dynamic change by next year of the Blue Bloods just hitting more transfers than they ever have before relative to high school kids?
I guess that's always a possibility, but I just tend to think that there's contributing factors to at least I don't know a lot about Duke. I've watched a few of their games here or there, but not in entirety. But I just know with Arkansas, obviously Nick's been out for most of the season, and Brazil's obviously been out most of the season. Two guys, if they had been playing if they were still on the team, I mean, if they had not missed any action and they'd been playing all year, I think you'd see a totally different team. It's just you got current guys that are contributing the most right now, and then you're trying to throw in Nick in there, who's trying to get into the flow of the game. And I just think right now it's just kind of it just looks a little uncomfortable at times.
Hey, let's shift gears, talk a little spring football because it's coming up in a few weeks. Obviously about half the coaching staff brand new, completely brand new on the defensive side with the exception of Deke Adams. What are some things that you hear high school coaches talking about? I'm sure several of them will be up to watch some practices. And what's the conversation now that these coaches have been in state for a few weeks now?
Can you say that again?
You just had the high school coaching clinic in Hot Springs. A lot of these coaches on staff, that's where I was headed. A lot of them getting familiar with the new coaches. What are you hearing from the high school coaches about the new assistants at Arkansas?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Everything that I heard from high school coaches from the clinic was very positive. Really liked the energy of the new coaches. Travis Williams, man, the guy is just nothing but energy. They had a breakout session, and from what I could see and from what I was hearing from guys that were, hearing him talk and hearing his philosophy on the defense, was just very impressed. And I think with Coach Woodson, he's a guy that also brings a lot of energy, and a guy that is very firm in his beliefs about recruiting to the University of Arkansas. He believes that you can recruit against anybody, and you don't take a backseat to any program, because you got so many things to sell at the University of Arkansas. And then Coach Wilson also is another one that I think that I got some positive feedback about, and I got another energy guys. I mean, these guys are just, you could tell that they're very happy about being at the University of Arkansas, and you can't fake that. That's something that it's genuine. And when you show that, when you're interacting with high school coaches, they can sense that, because obviously that's their profession. So everything that I heard as far as the new coaches is very positive. And I think with Coach Enos, obviously most of the high school coaches are already familiar with him because of his first time at the University of Arkansas. So I do know that they made quite an impression on the high school coaches.
And I'm sure a number of them, like I was mentioning a moment ago, will be up to watch one or more of the spring practices. Generally, that's something that Arkansas's done. I know under Sam Pittman, they've continued to let high school coaches come in and watch the spring practices.
Oh, no doubt. That's something that the coaches stress. Anytime that you want to come to the University of Arkansas for a practice or bring your kids for a visit, you're more than welcome. They understand the importance of in-state relationships with the high school coaches, and that's the one thing that you can't. That's another area that you cannot, be lacking in, or it will come back and bite you in the butt recruiting wise, because high school coaches are the backbone of this high school football, and obviously their relationships with the high school kids are key. And when you rub somebody the wrong way, that can kind of hinder you a little bit.
Richard, before we let you go, man, talking about high school football and stuff, I wonder, as they enter in this next season and they had another strong recruiting class, we're talking about the basketball and the transfer portal, how much of this spring in the portal is going to maybe gear fans to predict what they think and what the expectations are for next year in this kind of second cycle?
Yeah, well, obviously it'll be interesting who remains on the roster. Obviously, the number of transfers will be dictated by the open spots on the roster. But hey, every year, Coach Muss and the staff do an excellent job as far as the portal. I mean, about as good as any program in the country. And you already got 2 high school kids coming in that are highly recruited and among the best in the country, and McDonald's All-American. Then you throw in your usual 2, 3, 4 guys from the portal. And I think with Coach Muss, as long as he's here, the expectations are going to be high every season.
We'll leave it there, man. Appreciate the time as always, and we will talk next week.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here on the Morning Rush. Hey, Joe's Grill and Cantina. If you were there last night for the game, you got half-price apps and taps. Saturday, they'll be back with dollar tacos all day long on Saturday. They do that every Saturday, dollar crunchy beef and chicken tacos. And then during the game on Saturday against Florida, they'll have the games on all the TVs around the restaurant at Joe's and half-price apps and taps during the game. So if you missed it last night, not too late. Saturday will be the day. Plus, you got baseball Friday night. I need to check and see if they'll have the Flow Sports thing. I don't know about that, but they'll have baseball when it's on regular streaming and in the SEC network. I think there's 10 games on national TV this year. So make your plans to be at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street down in Fort Smith.
We've had plenty of reaction to the game last night. We'll take some more. Charlie's in Camden. Charlie, good morning.
Oh, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good. You sound like you just woke up.
I definitely did. But I'm ready to go here. Man, frustrating last night, guys. I mean, for me as a fan, and I don't usually get, like, when I'm watching a game, I'm calm, I'm laid back. I'm kind of, before the game is when my nerves hit, and I guess after the game, once whatever happens, that's when I kind of think to myself, what did I just see, and just a lot of similarities to what's happened all year on the road. It just feels like, other than the Kentucky game where we just kind of from start to finish, I felt like we just outplayed them the whole game, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts. We were going to win that game, and that was the most impressive win, and I thought that would shift the momentum for this team and the confidence. And it's just right now we're really struggling to close games, man, and we really are. Outside the Kentucky game, on the road, guys, Todd, this is what I'm going to say about Nick, man. Bro, look, I get he had 2 turnovers, but is something wrong with him? Because you're right, man. He was playing good defense. That's what matters.
Best defense he's played all year. Not close. Best defense he's played all year.
Not even close.
But Tommy
Go ahead. And even last game, he was getting down in a stance and defending his butt off. So I don't understand, you're telling me, okay, we're just trying to win a game. And I love Muss. I'm not trying to foul on him here, okay? I don't mean that. But, when we're struggling offensively, this is a guy that, in my opinion, you got to try to integrate and get in there. And I know he had 2 turnovers, Tommy. I know he did, but he's not the only one last night that was struggling to do certain things. I mean, he only played 3 minutes. I mean, the guy hadn't played in 2 months, and I'm not trying to pile on Muss with this, but you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, when you got a guy that's been out, it's going to take some time, and if he's going to defend like that, to me, he deserves a chance. So anyway, I'll just thank him for listening.
Thanks Charlie.
Guys.
Can we really say best all year in 3 minutes and 52 seconds?
Yeah, it's best defense he played all year. If you watch,
I just don't think that's enough of a sample size to say that. I mean, but that's, you can have your opinion, I can have mine. But I mean, when you play less than 4 minutes in a game, I don't think you can sum it up as best of the season. So,
it's the best defense I've seen him play all year. It's like Charlie said, he was in his stance, he was getting after his guys. Here's the deal: that is the first time in 4 years where I sat back after a game and said Eric Musselman got outcoached. Second half. Usually, he's the one that kills the other guy in the second half. But you kept doing the same thing. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and it not working.
Shooting threes.
Jalen Graham didn't play much at all in the second half. He didn't get into the 27-second mark left in the game. Mekhi and Mikal, I thought Mekhi had one of his better games finishing. He nearly had a double-double. Mikal needs to learn to have a floater like Jalen does. Jalen does a great job. Rarely gets a charge called on him. Now, he does turn the ball over at points, but he'll have that little push shot. Mikel didn't have that. He just barrels in there and then picks up charge calls at the time. And again, he's had great games for them in this stretch too. But again, last night was the first time where offensively, so they ended the first half with 36 points? And you end up with 56? Have my math right?
Halftime score was 33-24.
Okay, so you scored 23 points in the second half. You can't win a road game like that. You need offense. You didn't have anyone that could shoot. You've got a guy on the bench, and again, he didn't have a good first half. And I don't, behind the scenes, I don't, if there was something going on with him, if he injured or something, but you got to do something else. 1 for 10 from 3. 1 from 10 in the second half. It didn't work. Jalen Graham at least can give you a spark of offense. And I know you give up defense. I get that. And I know that's a good offensive rebounding team. But you limited him for the most last night. First time in 4 years, I sat back after a game and said Eric Musselman got outcoached in the second half.
Still determine the winner with points. And I get the emphasis on defense, and I know there's a tradition here with Eddie Sutton and Nolan Richardson, and I get it with defense. And you want to win these games in the 60s. But, you held A&M to 62 points in their building. That's a game you can win.
I know.
That's a game you should win. You had 3 second-half offensive rebounds. You had second chance points in the second half. Let's see, for the game, you had 5 second chance points. You had 4 of those 5 points in the second half. You look at the 3-point shooting in the second half, like we've talked about, 1 of 10. That's essentially 8 or 9 at least, depending on those offensive rebounds. Wasted possessions, dead trips. There's your ball game, Coach. 23 points second half. You wonder why you didn't? You took 8 or 9 possessions, 7, 8, 9 possessions, somewhere in that neighborhood. And you shot threes that didn't go in.
And other thing about this, and I don't want to just put this on Muss because plenty of it lies at the feet of the players that are on the court last night. I mean, Devontae Davis had one of the worst turnovers I've seen all season long in the final 2 minutes of that game. He missed 3 free throws down the stretch. You had guys that consistently can't knock down threes. Guys, it's college basketball. This ain't high school. This ain't junior high. This ain't elementary. You should be able to hit a 3 if you're a guard. It is embarrassing to see them consistently shoot. Muss is literally having to coach. Too. He is literally having to coach with one hand behind his back in this era of college basketball. They are open, and you just said it too, they're open looks. Guys are just giving it to
them. They're not even coming out there other than Devo.
Get in the gym. Do something. And that's, again, the stretch that you had, you actually started to knock down some shots. Devo still held it to a certain extent. He goes 4 for 10. I don't know if you necessarily want him jacking 10 threes last night, but he hits 4 of them. That's 40%. 40% is pretty good from 3. Other guys got to make some. I know AB hit 1, but Ricky, he's got to hit some. I mean, and the other thing is, again, we mentioned this earlier, there has to be some urgency when you go up against a zone defense. You have to get into your action quick. If Muss calls a set, go. Get into it. Don't. I almost said something bad there. You can't screw around at the top of the key 3 or 4 passes and not do any ball movement. That's just, you said exactly what the defense is doing. There's only so much a head coach can tell his players without wanting to pull his hair out. We know this guy's a good coach. The back-to-back Elite Eights prove it. The success in Nevada proves it. These guys, as true freshmen, as transfers, you have to follow through. You have to close. You can't be like me at a bar on a Saturday night. You have to close. You have to close. Gah!
Oh.
Ah!
Frustrating, isn't it? Keep going home empty-handed night after night after night. Road trip after road trip. You thought you had a 10-point lead the other night, didn't you? That's the hard part. I mean, you could hear it in Mussel's voice. I know we're going to hear from him. You can say out-coached. I'm not going to push back on that, but did they have a bad game plan last night? No.
She was flirting with you all night.
Yeah.
And you let her slip through her fingers.
Yeah. Well, you let
you
someone
were at
else.
whole hometown bar. And then what else happened? This other guy came up and took her home.
But bought drinks with 3 minutes to go in the game.
You've been buying her drinks all night long.
$100 down the drain.
Credit card, Capital One, Wells Fargo, they all hate you now. All right, more of the Morning Rush, Hour 2 coming up.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades: methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
Good news, lottery players. The Lotto jackpot is over $1.5 million. And it gets better. This jackpot can only be won in Arkansas. Match 6 on Wednesdays or Saturdays, and you could be the next Arkansas millionaire. Get your Lotto ticket at any Arkansas Scholarship Lottery retailer or on the Jackpocket app. Good luck, Lotto players. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever, take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith, perform any service your vehicle will ever need, and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work, no finding a sitter, no sitting in a waiting room, no wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, cloudy skies and much cooler temperatures as the temperatures will fall from the 50s into the 30s north, low 40s south. Or should see partly cloudy skies later on tonight, and overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 20s, sunny mid to upper 40s Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
So Arkansas will inbound it right in front of us. Council will be the trigger man. Ricky drops it into Black. Got to shoot. Black drives the rim. Kick out. Devo. Three-pointer blocked by Radford. Picked up by Washington. That's it. That is it. A&M has won the game. Arkansas wins the ball game. A&M wins the ball game 62-56. The Aggies outscored the Razorbacks 38-23 after halftime.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Got plenty of comments this morning following last night's game. You can react as well. 877-377-6963. Get us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch as well, like Hog Delight has done this morning, Tommy. I mentioned that Duke and Arkansas are combined 35-15, two teams that were projected much higher in the NCAA tournament, and seeds aren't going to be as great. And I said injuries have played a part. They underperformed to regular season expectations. And he said, when you say injuries have played a part, it's like you took out the U.S. and Britain out of World War II, and you're saying the Allies have underperformed. Well. Good text from Hog Delight this morning as we're in hour number 2 of the Morning Rush.
Yeah, it's certainly when you lose Brazil and Nick Smith, and we know the story, that's changed the entire plot.
So is Brazil... Is he Winston Churchill and company, or is he the United States?
I don't know about any of that, but it's certainly plotted a different course for what Eric Musselman had planned this year. There's no question about that.
So, I really do enjoy World War II history.
My son, he's kind of moved on from. He used to be it's like 2 or 3 years ago. That's all he wanted to do is watch World War II documentaries and study it. So
it's Band of Brothers. The HBO, what war is that? Is that World War II?
I have not watched Band of Brothers.
That might be something.
I think it's World War I.
Is it? I don't know if
I haven't watched. I've seen the trailers in front of other shows, but
I don't know how bloody that is. Maybe that's something he could latch onto.
It was kind of bloody last night. That's a battle. That was a battle on the boards last night. I mean, the first 10 minutes of that game, I didn't print the full box with all the play-by-play, but A&M had 4 points with 5 or 6, 7 minutes gone in that game. It took forever for A&M to even get some points on the board. That's the other frustrating thing about losing this game last night. You lead by 12, and everything changed there at the end of the half. But B, if you could have got anything going, you could have run away from these guys. I mean, the way this game started, it was a battle on the boards, and there weren't a lot of offensive rebounds to go around. Arkansas had 5 in the game last night. What was it, 9? Yeah, 9 for A&M. Rebounds were tough last night. There wasn't a lot of second-chance points by either team, 6 and 5 for the game last night. But you stop and even consider the fact that A&M scored their 62 points, and the majority of those in the last 30 minutes of the game. That's a little more difficult to swallow. In fact, A&M, I mean, you were carrying on there at the end of the hour last hour. A&M only led that game for 5 minutes, dude. 5:02 is the only amount of game time they had the lead. But they had it when it counted, and that's at the end.
Yep. Here's Muss last night after the game and what he talked about the differences in the halves.
I thought it was a crucial 3 that we gave up at the end of the first half. Hefner got an open look with a very, very short clock. And then to start the second half, the 3 balls that we gave up, we were supposed to defend the 3 ball much better than we did to start the second half.
You let Hugh Hefner's grandson, that smuck, get off a shot at the end.
That wouldn't be his grandson. That'd be his great-great-grandson.
Whatever. Yeah. One of his many, well, I can't say that. You got mad at Clay for saying that. But I like in that sequence, Devontae Davis, who's the best defender on your team, the only thing that kid can do on a basketball court is shoot. And you go under the screen. And he gets a wide open look at the end of the half. Cardinal sin.
Top of the key. I mean, good look, too.
Oh, yeah. And you knew as soon as you shot, he buried it. He did. And because I think it was a double-digit lead at that point, and then they cut it to 9. Is that what it was?
33-24 was the halftime score.
Yep. So you would have had 12. And again, you lost by 6, so maybe that's not, even if he doesn't hit that shot, you still lose.
You lose by 6, but you fouled a lot at the end to stop the clock, put them on the line, and they made free throws.
Momentum type of thing. Wade Taylor, you did a great job on him the first half. Guy had 2 points. He didn't shoot the ball well in Bud Walton Arena, 6 for 19. Did end up with like 18 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But good grief, 16 points in the second half. 4 or 5 from 3?
Taylor
drilled.
Taylor went 3 of 5.
3 of 5 from 3. I mean, good. And I know he's an excellent guard. Muss has been very, very complimentary of Wade Taylor. But you could guard him in the second half. He was unbelievable. And then you got Radford doing things. You had some other guys. And listen,
Dexter Dennis had a double-double.
Yeah, that's Ricky's old teammate. He had a contested 3. There was a point, I think, when they started out of the half, they went on that 17-4-1 with the combination of Hefner's 3. 2 of those 3s were very contested and just good shots, good hits. It's the hand down, man down, Mark Jackson. Like, you can't do anything. It's right there. Better offense beats good defense every time. But 2 of the other looks, I think, were wide open, and you can't allow that. Arkansas, what Muss says every game, if we're as bad as 3s as we are, which they are 331st out of 363 teams in college basketball shooting 3s, then you cannot give up the 3s on the other end. And they did that last night in the second half. You scored 23 points in the second half. You're not going to win road games in the Southeastern Conference against a team that hasn't lost there all season long to another SEC opponent and scored 23 points in the second half. It ain't going to happen, y'all. It ain't going to happen.
Went 4 of 6 from distance in the first half. Did that make you feel like you had a little more green light as a team that, hey, these are going in, and then in the second half they don't? 1 for 10. I mean, the shooting was so different. And I can't really point to, hey, A&M made this adjustment. We'd probably sound foolish trying to explain it, but those look like open looks. I'm not saying they were bad shots. They just weren't going in. Debo was 4 of 10 for the game, but 10's too many. I hear it from what you're saying, the frustration. All right, if you can't make 3s and you can't dribble penetrate because they're sagging on man or mixing a combination of some zone, but mainly sagging man defense, and you can't penetrate the lane, what are you going to do? And what they did is what they've consistently done. They kind of pass it around, him haul around, and then they take a shot you'd rather not take with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
17 assists for this team last night. That's not a bad stat at all. That's pretty good. Musselman will be happy without that in most cases. But so you're talking about that. Mid-range is dead in college basketball. It's dead in the NBA to a certain extent as well. You can't shoot 3s. No one on this team can really shoot mid-range for the most part except for Ricky Council, and he was off last night. And your big men, when they roll, Jalen Graham, Mekhi Mitchell, Mykel Mitchell, they can't stop on that elbow because none of them really have a jumper. Jalen has that little push shot, but that's about it. Mykel can't really shoot a jumper. Mekhi can't. If they shoot it, that's what the defense wants because that's not their strength. So you, again, in pick-and-roll situations, was AB's pretty good at. He had 8 assists last night. He did a good job. Nearly had another double-double. You're in a supremely difficult situation as an offensive coach to try and get this team to score points if you've got one guy that's consistently shooting the basketball well, and the other team knows that, and limiting his opportunities. AB hits a 3, Devo hits 4, and that's it. That's all you got last night. And Devo hit 1 in the second half.
Then you better have more than 5 second chance points because everything you're saying there, I don't disagree, but then you better be getting some O boards and putting them back, right?
Yep.
And when you get 5 second chance points, what was it, 5 offensive boards for the game? Oil and water. That don't mix. Those things don't go together. So, good luck.
By the way, Band of Brothers World War II. Back to
All
our initial conversation. We got several texts about that. We've gotten plenty of texts about college basketball, but that might be a show that old Dylan gets into at some point. I've got a few other topics.
Felt like a war out there last night.
Yeah. Got a few other topics I want to get to. I was mad about Isaiah Joe not making the 3-point contest yesterday, and now I'm mad this morning about this Arkansas basketball team's inability to close out on the road. We thought they were over it in Columbia and Lexington. Evidently not after last night.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here and hitthatline.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After redshirting his first year at Ohio State, Joe Burrow spent the next 2 years as J.T. Barrett's backup. With Dwayne Haskins on the roster, Burrow didn't see much playing time and decided to transfer. LSU head coach Ed Orgeron zeroed in on Burrow and landed him. In his second season at LSU, Burrow led the Tigers to a 15-0 record, a national championship, and arguably the best season ever by a college quarterback.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
You know that feeling when your football team adds that one player with every skill they've been looking for? It's time your business knew how it felt too. LinkedIn Jobs taps into a network of over 850 million professionals to find the right people for your role. LinkedIn Jobs helps you narrow down to the most qualified candidates so you can start hiring the right people. Go to linkedin.com/sports to post your job for free. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
What's new in 23 at the Golf Nut? Peen G430 woods and irons arriving January the 26th, and tailor-made Stealth 2 woods arriving February 17th. New Titleist Pro V1 will be in stock January the 24th. Book a time on their Hitty base with the TrackMan technology, or play a round of golf on one of their mini courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you want to be a part of the team that makes the best pizza and wings in town? Well, I've got great news. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is now accepting applications for full and part-time cooks. Fill out your application in person Monday through Saturday between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. You'll get to make the best art pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Order the double cheese and sausage. Right here, dude.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on Made in the USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have two-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with a manager approval or a SEMA financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first. Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They're loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, we'll come back to basketball in just a sec. A little frustrated, as you can tell, this morning. It's almost a What's Your Beef Thursday, as Arkansas again falls 62-56 last night. Now, I do need to take into calculation that team hasn't lost at home all season to another SEC opponent, and A&M's just on fire right now. They got a chance to win the league or have a share of the title. A&M at the end, or Alabama at the end of the year, coming into Reed Arena. Bama goes down to Tennessee last night. Tennessee just shut them down. Brandon Miller and company had nothing going for them last night.
Bunch of turnovers in that game.
Yep.
Arkansas could be the team that puts A&M into a piece of the conference championship.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You go win at Bama and open that door. That wouldn't that be something? You give A&M a shot at the title.
Yeah,
or a piece of it.
Makes me sick this morning. So David Ortiz, Red Sox legend, is selling his mansion for $12.5 million. This thing's over 10,000 square feet. Got a 16-foot wide shower, home theater, sports memorabilia everywhere, pool, 3 fire pits, all the jazz, everything you want in a big old home. What is something obscure that you want in your house that you can't afford? Something so outrageous, something so out of the norm, something so celebrity-esque that it's almost unattainable. I'll give you mine first, let you ponder on yours. Mine... There's 2 places I've been to. One's in Nashville, Tennessee. One's in Atlanta, Georgia. I walk in. It's a pizza place. They have this oven that cooks pizzas. I'm not kidding. In 1 minute. In 1 minute. And this thing's piping hot and fresh, and it's unbelievable. They throw it in there. It is out. I think it's like 800 degrees or something. It's one of the best pizzas I've ever had. So as a pizza connoisseur that eats it at least 3 times a week, that would be my outrageous, off-the-wall thing I'll never be able to afford, but that I want in my house.
I would go probably with a golf simulator. I'd like to set one of those up. Like, I've got an area I think I could do it. I think the ceiling's high enough you can swing a golf club in there. But I've got a friend of mine, his brother has a golf simulator with the full, like, movie screen deal, and they hit balls into it, and they can play, Pebble Beach or Augusta or whatever at their house. That would be the one thing. I mean, I'm thinking, all right, do I want a sauna? That's pretty. Do I want a home theater? Well, I got a good TV, golf simulator. Now, how cool would it be to have the boys over? Let's just play around a golf. I mean, not on the Wii where you're swinging a controller. I mean, we're going to bring our clubs and get after it. Now, that would be the amenity I'd like to have, is a full setup golf simulator in the house.
I think that's a great one. I had you down for your own par 3 in your backyard. That's what I assumed you'd say.
The yard's a little tight for that.
Yeah.
Another buddy just put in one of these fake or synthetic putting greens in his backyard. That just lead to more frustration. So, and probably this golf simulator would as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But that would be fun to be able to. I mean, how many people got one of those at home?
I know the Golf Nuts got one.
Yeah,
there's places there's apartments in Fayetteville when I lived in college that we would go to. We'd say, hey, you want to go play 18? Sure. And we'd just go to the golf simulator.
Big Mike from Waldron says bowling alley. I'm with you, Big Mike. Like a 2-lane deal. Was it? You ever seen Kingpin, where they went to the guy's mansion?
Ruskin and Zach, that's Woody Harrelson, right? They've talked about that.
That's a 25, 30-year-old movie. But that'd be cool to have 2 lanes of bowling in your own house, something like that.
Tyler wants an indoor range. I was talking to 2 business owners here in Arkansas, and they've got basements in their buildings. One thought about putting a champagne bar, bowling alley type of thing. The other was talking about a shooting range. Yeah. And that's at their place of business.
I've got and it's a storage room more than a garage, but it's a garage, single-car garage that we don't use it's downstairs. I think I could turn that into a golf simulator room, but I don't think the ceiling's high enough to swing a club in there. Mm-hmm. That'd be the problem. So
tell Dylan to kick rocks, and the playroom's dead. Hey,
I don't
son,
think that
pound
works either.
sand.
You need a little clearance above you.
I will say, my father was a great single father, and he's a great dual parent or whatever it's called, regular home, whatever. When we were kids, we lived 3 houses down from the pool. We had a soccer net, we had a half-court basketball goal, and we had a zip line in our backyard. You talk about kids' paradise.
Yeah.
That was it, man.
Our neighbors, and they're moving, but they've got a slack line, zip line type thing, so kids can, and we don't have a basketball goal because our driveway, you've seen, it's on a slope. It's not set up for basketball, but they got a pool, so.
You think I'd be better?
Pool and a pond. Pond might be better for them.
Yeah, pools. That pool being 3 houses down, you didn't have to water it, you didn't have to clean it. You just let your kids walk, and we just had this sidewalk in the back of your house. We'd walk to it. It was great.
Perfect.
Good old Hillsboro.
JT in Hot Springs wants to know, doesn't Jim Nance have a replica of the 7th hole at Pebble Beach? Yes, he does, in his own backyard. And where does he live? At Pebble Beach. So, yeah. Remember, there was a Peyton Manning, Peyton's Places he did with Tom Brady. And they did it at Jim Nance's house.
Yeah.
And they were bouncing golf balls off his roof onto the green. Yeah, that would be, how do you top that? A replica of the 7th hole.
Hard to beat.
That'd be. All right, that's your Morning Rush daily question. What would you like to have in your home? What would be the luxury you'd like to have? Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right, we got a couple callers before we get with Tom. Nelson and Harrison, you're up first. Guys, we got to make these pretty quick. Nelson, fire away, man.
Hey, guys, I just want to say, man, between football and basketball, this year has to be the most frustrating sports season that we've had. I mean, maybe ever. How many times can you have your team, football or basketball, be in position, be controlling the game, and just come out and flat out just mess the bed? It's like, it ain't like you guys don't know don't know how to get the lead, don't know how to get, at the advantage, because you've led by double digits in at least 5 games and ended up losing.
We've never seen this before as Razorback fans, have we?
Yeah. Oh, I know, but this is truly. But this is what I want to say. I'm with you, Ty. I mean, I understand he's a coach that is going to get a lot of praise, but come on, dude. If you're going to sit there and you're going to go into a battle and you got the top of the notch weapon over there and you're going to go in and fight with a machete, come on.
Nelson, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
You got it, man. Appreciate the call this morning. Guys, sports radio, here's the deal. It would not be existing if you didn't have opinions. No one that's listening right now thinks Musselman's a bad coach. Tommy and I don't think that. Clays doesn't think that. Tom doesn't think that. But if they lose, and again, I said this in hour one, it's not all on him. Players got to execute. Same thing with Pittman this past season. Players got to execute. You got to finish. That football team didn't finish worth a lick this past year. This basketball team hadn't finished worth a lick this season. You have to execute and finish. And I know injuries have played a part in football and basketball.
In baseball.
Yeah, in baseball already. But I get that. Like I know when coaches say, listen, I'm not trying to make an excuse. It's excuse or reason argument. I understand that. But, I mean, guys, we got to figure this out. We got 5 games left. Castleton's not playing on Saturday unless he's going to play with a broken hand. I mean, if you can't beat Florida without their best player at home in Budweiser Arena, we got real issues here. We got real issues. All right, let's talk to Woods in Bentonville. Go ahead, Woods. Go ahead, Woods.
Hey, guys. I think we need to get Ty a Xanax today.
Something.
That might be the
melatonin.
wrong one.
Little on edge right now. But, no, what I was going to say is, where is Ricky Council gone? You know, like, the scoring production is way down in most of the games since, I don't know, what's it been, like 2 or 3 weeks? And then my other thing is can we give Jordan Walsh a triple-double if he gets 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 personal fouls? Can we make that a triple-double?
He played well last night, just fouled too much.
He did.
Apparently can't bring his jersey to the arena.
I didn't know that was the player's job.
I don't know what the story was.
The stat sheet and fouls for sure.
Yeah, he's got to stay on the floor. Woods, we appreciate the call. Sorry we got to run. He's too valuable to not be on the court at times. We saw his impact on the road. He's had a couple decent road games. He's just got to stay on the floor. Got to stay on the floor. All right, next call, last call before we get to Tom. Phil's in Bentonville. Phil, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, real quickly, with what happened with the news with Chris Beard in Texas and the charges being dropped, what is the next move for Texas and Chris Beard?
That's a great question. So you saw that yesterday. The DA dropped the charges for Chris Beard, and
I don't know that there is a next step. I mean, his contract, if you're charged, you don't have to be convicted, and this is pretty much standard language in a lot of, if you're charged with a felony or a crime of this nature, or you do something to bring, public shame, if you will, and that's not the exact wording in the agreement, to your university, you can be dismissed with cause. Okay. So his dismissal with cause still stands because he was charged with the crime. And, this isn't a court of law where you're innocent and proven until proven guilty, but you're the head coach at the University of Texas or insert any other place. I don't think it'd be much different here. You've created a situation by your mere involvement, fair or unfair. And, as we said from the get-go, there was a good chance it would end up going this direction. This is exactly how it did. The reason the DA dropped the charges is the victim did not want to participate in the prosecution. Clearly, they're still together. They're still engaged, whatever still described as the fiance. So, I mean, this is how a lot of times these situations end up. But as far as Texas and them owing him money or somehow he becomes coach again, that's not happening. That ship has sailed.
Again, this is something that the charges have been dropped. So I need to be very careful as I walk this tightrope before we get to on. You've seen me angry before plenty of times. Listen, I've thought about punching a dude before, but never in my wildest dreams would I ever hit a fiend. I just don't understand that. I've never, and maybe it's because I haven't had this wife or this girlfriend that's driven me up to the wall where I want to punch the wall, but I just don't understand. And this isn't the only situation I'm talking about. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And I got other vices. I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise, but I've just never understood that, ever, in any case whatsoever. the even thought process to do that. You can be angry.
You're not thinking. That thing when you're angry, you're not thinking.
I'll hit a dude like
you're reacting. You're not thinking. I mean, no one's thinking that through, or you wouldn't do it. And this is the deal. I mean, the report we know, and I don't want to go into all this, but the question was, where does Texas and Chris Beard go? And I think separate ways would be my answer.
Does he get a job before?
I think it's a year or two.
A year?
No, I think he's another year out.
What if Cal's done in Kentucky? They get a big win last night in Starkville.
This has to rest a while. This has to sit. Certainly not a job of that magnitude. Mid-major, lower level place maybe, but I can't see a blue blood or a high power 5 bringing Chris Beard on for next season. Can't see that.
Okay. Let's talk to our friend Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports this morning. Tom, it was a great game last night, back and forth. Thought Arkansas was going to pull it out. They weren't able to. Wade Taylor was the story. What did you take away from the second half and Arkansas's ability to put points on the scoreboard?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. That last stretch after the Makai Mitchell free throws with whatever left that gave him a 2-point lead, that was not pretty. And as it was unfolding, I wasn't realizing. I knew they were taking threes, but I examined it for a note I wrote, and it was all threes. They went 0 for like 5 or 6 during that long stretch when A&M was able to build the lead with a 10-0 run until the Anthony Black play inside with 12 seconds left. So they've just and they had a couple of turnovers, and I just think maybe minutes. Maybe guys are getting tired, and when you look at the way A&M played defense against Arkansas, they started the second half in the zone, and you can't help but say that helped A&M get out to that really quick start in the second half. And then they kind of went into this sagging matchup thing that basically tried to prevent the guards from driving and getting inside. And Arkansas wasn't able to do a lot of their dribble penetration, and then you get help defense, and then you drop it off to the big guys. So they really struggled to get off quality shots, and then they just used up so much shot clock, really not, making moves that set up shots, just passing around the perimeter and things like that. So I think it would help Arkansas to try to be a little more intent about setting a shot up earlier in the shot clock, because so many times it got under 7 and they really didn't have anything going at that point. So it's very unfortunate, and it's a trend, and you could tell in Eric Musselman's voice last night that he understands it's a trend. The Missouri game on the road, they were up 10 with 6-7 minutes left, lost that. They were in the Baylor game right up till the end and had a second half lead and didn't hold on to that. So I mean, I think their strength of schedule is still a feather in their cap. But if they could close out tight games, think of what their record would be, say, if they'd beaten Missouri on the road and won last night. And there's a couple other games in there. But, man, they got to find a way.
Tommy, you talk about the urgency they have to have attacking the zone. Who is that on? Is it on the players, or is that on Eric Musselman to get these guys quicker in those sets?
Right. Well, we'd have to be inside the huddle to know what their intent is. And you're supposed to hit the gaps in the zone and all, but the way they were sagging, they were making the entry passes into the post difficult as well. The guards, maybe their minutes are just stacking up, but that play Anthony Black had with 12 seconds, that's the kind of play. Dribble inside, force contact, force help defense to come over, and then make something happen from there. But when your three-point shooting dries up, I mean, that would have gotten them out of it. But then suddenly, after Devo Davis's three-pointer with like 15-something left in the second half, they kind of quelled that huge start that A&M got off to. After that, they didn't make any threes the rest of the game. And so, I don't know, it's on a little bit of everybody. And obviously they're still trying to work the Nick Smith part of this into the equation, and it didn't go as well last night.
Yeah. Obviously, you're down a game as far as being 500 in the league. I feel like you got to be at least 9-9. But I look at the net ranking this morning. You drop one spot from 20 to 21. You're 21 this morning in the net ranking. So I mean, I don't know how much weight that's going to carry in that metric. It's clearly part of the equation with the committee. I got a hard time believing that if Arkansas somewhere in the 20s when the SEC tournament's over, they're not going to the tournament regardless of their conference record. But, they got to be somewhere around 9-9, don't they, Tom? I have a hard time believing 8-10 gets in.
Well, it just depends on what resumes they're up against. Are there hotter teams and all that? And I agree with you. If Arkansas is in the 20s at the end of the SEC tournament, how do they keep them out? And here's the thing. You still got the road games at Tennessee and Alabama. That's only going to help your help your net ranking,
win or lose.
So exactly, and so it would have helped if they had gotten a win last night. I don't know. Arkansas would be a very interesting puzzler for the opposer for the. Record is their tight games they've played in, their personnel issues. So I don't know. They just need to be 500, and I think they'll be okay.
All right, Florida wins at Ole Miss last night. They've got some injury issues. They're 51 in the net ranking. Is this now a must-win, being a home game? And they may get in the top 50, but you need, top 30 to be a quad 1? This be a quad 2 game, I guess. But, we get caught up in a lot of that. But how paramount is this game considering the conference record and just kind of where things are with 5 games to go?
Well, if I'm Eric Musselman, I treat it as we have to win this game. And you might not put that terminology to it. They'll come up with a theme. But, yeah, it hurts Florida. If Colin Castleton has a broken hand, as reported last night, or broken bone in his hand, I don't see how he plays. And I didn't see the play, so I don't know which hand or anything like that. So that's a big a good issue for Arkansas, that if he's not able to play. But, yeah, they've just got to be more on point. It's amazing how they've gone from a road win at Kentucky, which they shot 72% in the second half and just looked so good and seemed to have everything under control, to losing at home to Mississippi State and now A&M. But yet they looked good. They looked good for large parts of that game last night. So, and I told you guys on Tuesday, I thought that defensive rebounding was going to be huge, and I thought it was. They kept A&M off the board so much of the game, but yet at crunch time, I know there was a putback by Henry Coleman, and then there was another, I think, number 11 got a putback, and those were both huge baskets when A&M was struggling to score, and so they got them at real key moments in the game.
Tom, we've got a couple NIT texts this morning. People saying, this team's not going to the NCAA tournament. You got $500 to put on this team making the tournament or going to the NIT. Where are you putting it right now with 5 games left in the regular season?
Well, I'm not going to advise anybody on where to put their money. But I just have a sense that they're going to find a way and they're going to get in the NCAA tournament. But here's the thing. The time frame on Nick Smith coming back and being a real player in this is starting to shrink.
Yeah.
And they need that. I mean, you could tell last night they needed more minutes from another guard. I mean, Ricky Council had his moments, but that play where he drove underneath and got up in the air and was heading out of bounds and just threw it back, that was a huge play. And he didn't have a plan at that point. So if that was indicative of where they were offensively down the stretch. And they need more quality minutes and be able to rest guys like Council and Devo.
Tom, we got 45 seconds. On that note, why do you think Graham and Smith didn't play really at all in the second half? Graham got, I think, 27 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. And he always gives them something offensively. I know you trade off a little bit, maybe rebounding or defense, but I don't know. It's just a feel, and it's Eric Musselman. It's a coach's decision. Nick Smith's minutes in the first half, I mean, I know there were a couple of turnovers, and so maybe he just feels like they weren't in the flow as much. But I think they're at a stage of the season where you got to try it more. And Graham offensively, I think sometimes outweighs whatever you think the negative parts are, because he can score and he's got an array of moves. So they got 5 games to solve this, plus the SEC tournament.
All right, Tom, good stuff. We'll talk to you Tuesday and wrap up another big weekend of SEC basketball.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us here Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Morning Rush. We'll take a look at your hog update coming up in just a minute. We want to tell you about our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. I kicked back and relaxed a couple days last week at Gaston's. I recommend you do the same. Still some time for winter rates in February. They got a spring special in March. They get you a discount on lodging when you stay 2 or more nights. But already, begin to think about your summer schedule. July 4th, Memorial Day weekends. Maybe there's a birthday, an anniversary, something that's special to you and your family. Get that special cabin or lodge booked and, really have a great time. The thing I love at Gaston's, whether it's 2 or 3 going or you got a group of 15 or 20, they have a lodge or a cabin set up for you that's the right floor plan, the right number of beds, private kitchen, fireplace, all of those things. So call Cheryl or Jacob or any of the reservation team and let them put that together for you. Great guides to take you on the river. And listen, fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's. There's no question about it. And that's exactly what you want to spend your time doing. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. BPHotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels. Looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Walk-on tryouts coming up March the 1st for the Arkansas Razorback football program. One day, students on campus. If you got a son that goes to the U of A or have a nephew or a grandson or whatever, you got to be in 12 credit hours, have a physical, and it's got to be done by 5 o'clock. I think it's, registration begins at 2. I think it's 3 to 5 when this sucker gets done. I was thinking about it. Let's go back. I guess you're 47, so what is that, 25-ish years?
Yeah.
You would have been 22. So let's go back to your senior year. What would you have tried to walk on for? Didn't you play offensive lineman?
Left
like
bench.
I
was one of the best scout team nose guards Ramsey Junior High's ever seen.
I know this might surprise you, but I actually played left guard and got abused.
Yeah.
I was going up against guys that were twice my size and twice my weight. Just got blown up. I felt so bad for our starting quarterback, 7th grade year, Connor Vaughn, because he just got eaten alive every single play. I played linebacker in 7th and 8th grade because I actually was decent at tackling. Wasn't good at anything else, but I just hit people low and they'd go down in middle school. But if I tried to walk on when I was in school, probably try to be a kicker. I could kick. In high school, I could kick 35 to 40-yard field goals decently. Not 40. I couldn't kick 45, but 35 to 45. I could be the extra point guy, maybe a punter. That's probably the extent. I have a decent arm too. Play quarterback, little.
What I bring to the table in the lack of athleticism, I make up for with slowness and lack of foot
there
speed.
There you go.
So probably I'd need to be a lineman. I'd be an undersized, overvalued, not very good third scout team lineman. That's what I'd probably have to be. I would be Rudy.
You could be
I just have to outwork everybody.
You'd be a pulling guard. Be the guy that clips the other.
You need someone a little bit faster than me probably for that.
You'd be there for the heart.
Yep.
Dave Van Horn announced.
Take him out at the knee.
Yeah, hit him at the knee. As long as they're not engaged with someone else, because we know that is what is that? Blocking, chop block?
No, that's not technically a chop block, but I hear what you're saying.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Dave Van Horn announced yesterday that 3 starting pitchers for this weekend. Hagen Smith getting the start against the Longhorns. Will McIntyre on Saturday, and then Hunter Holland, the transfer from, it's not San Jose State, San Jacinto or whatever that place is called.
San Jacinto.
That sounds right. He's the Sunday starter. I'm excited for this weekend, man. I'm not going to watch a lick of it because I'll be in St. Louis, but I'm curious to see how Arkansas ends up. You've said all week, and you're right. This doesn't indicate how this team's going to end up this year. They could go 0-3 and still end up in Omaha.
Well, you've seen, I think if you go back and you correlate the results of some of these early season classics and what it means to the result of the season, I don't think there's always the correlation that, hey, you go 2-1 or 3-0, this is a World Series team, and you go 0-3, go ahead and sack the bats. I just, I don't think you should get too high or too low based on what happens this weekend. And sure, you'd like to beat Texas. Would you rather go 1-2 and have a win over Texas?
Yes.
Or go 2-1 and you lose the one Friday night?
Screw the latter.
All
first
right.
one. Take
All
the
right.
first one every time.
Is this what, TCU and Oklahoma State in that order?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Though Rock Riggio is up there and one of the most hated opponents in all of sports for this Arkansas fan base. So maybe the Oklahoma State win means more to this fan base than it did prior to the Stillwater Regional.
Remember they went down and played one of these in Round Rock, Texas, at the minor league park there, and it was like cold. The wind, it's another one of them flow sports deals, and wind was bad. At least this indoor. We think you go to Texas, you go south, man, the weather's gonna be great. Not always. Now, Chuck said yesterday when before the show that it was like 75 in College Station. I mean, it's hit or miss. We think Texas, man, it'd be warm. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun thing this weekend. I think, if I remember right, DVH is like, yeah, we're never going back here. I could be putting words in his mouth, but I'm pretty sure on the Round Rock thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't play outdoors this time of year.
You can't. Arkansas loses last night, College Station and Reed Arena, a place they have not found success, 62-56. I know a lot of you have been asking, hey, why didn't Nick play in the second half? Here's Muss on that.
We're just trying to win a game and keep our season alive.
You just feel like he's not quite ready for a game like this, maybe?
Yeah, we're just going to keep trying to work everybody in.
Didn't elaborate on that, even when Bob asked the follow-up question. Again, I don't know. You never know what's going on.
Almost evasive about it. He was vague, to say the least.
Maybe Nick could have had something with his knee. Very well could have happened, but in that case, I don't know why you don't disclose. I guess that's Nick's prerogative. And
well, I don't know.
Me neither. All right, keeping it going, your Hog Update.
I sure hope you see him early in the game on Saturday. That'll quell any of that talk.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But it's a reasonable conclusion to jump to with what we've seen this year.
Yep. We talked about, I can't remember, what did Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira win earlier this week? We mentioned it yesterday.
It was a tournament down in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, he got the share of the SEC Golfer of the Week, another co-award for this Arkansas athletics department. Seems like more often than not that happened.
They just hate Arkansas.
Yeah. Arkansas
everybody's against us.
Mike Neighbors and company hosting the Vols tonight, 6 o'clock on the SEC Network.
Well, they're fighting to get in the tournament right now, aren't they?
Yeah. It'd be a big win for this team. What else is going on? Tennis team won again. They're pretty much a wagon to start the season.
A wagon? Explain that to the old guys.
Means they're pretty stinking good. I gotta remember who I'm talking to at times. I gotta separate how I talk to my friends and then how I talk on these airwaves. You think after nearly 5 years of doing this, there would be better adjustment on my part. Kind of like you didn't see any adjustments last night at the end of the game, or at least they didn't execute the adjustments. I need to differentiate those. I guarantee Eric Musselman was trying to fix things, and it just didn't get fixed at some point.
Well, sometimes you have the best laid plans. I mean, sometimes we come in here with an outstanding game plan for the show, and then I'll wreck it. I'll start jacking threes over here.
Sometimes I have
sometimes the coach has put together the right battle plan, and then the players don't follow it. I don't think he had a battle plan that included 10 second-half thrpoint attempts. Yeah. I don't think that's what they designed all week long.
Sometimes I have a great pickup line and a beer gets shoved right back in my face. It's part of it. That's going to do it for your Hog Update, brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, I got a question. I think this is something that has to be brought to your attention. I finally figured out my pant size. I didn't buy jeans. I had the same jeans.
You finally figured out your pant size.
Yeah, jean size. That's probably the better way to say it. I bought a couple new jeans lately. I wore the same pair of jeans from I think my senior year of high school to now. And so when I got
impressive.
And they were really tight at one point after I gained 20 pounds freshman year.
What percentage of our audience could wear their same jeans from their senior year of high school that's over the age of 25? I want to put a very low number on that. About Arkansas's three-point shooting percentage in the second half.
The button was about to pop off, let me tell you.
But I'm stressed out.
I figured out. I bought 36 30s, and they're too big and they're too short.
I figured you wore a longer inseam than a 30. That's what I wear.
So now I wear I figured out that I wear a 34 32. So what do you wear?
36 30s.
Okay.
I would drop about 15 pounds, and I'm working on that. I get down back into some 34.
I have 2 pair of jeans for you if you want them then.
What size are they?
36 30s.
Bring them.
Do you want them?
Yeah, bring them.
They're the tan ones that I wear to work and then the darker ones. But my friends were dogging me the other day. I didn't know what flooding was till I got to college. What flooding, where your jeans are too short.
Oh.
And So I can give these to you now. But I finally figured out my jean size.
We called them high waters in my day.
High waters?
Yeah. Got your high waters on.
28 years old, I finally figured out my jean size after not buying new jeans. I really didn't wear jeans for a while, but now I'm happy to know that I have my jean size now. And now you have two new pairs.
Such a difficult thing.
Now you have two new pairs of jeans that you can wear. How about that?
Outstanding. I'm a winner again.
Will you wear them? If I give them to you, will you actually wear them?
Yeah. I need some jeans anyway.
Okay. Well, you got two free ones coming your way. Some
Lost a
tan
little
ones.
weight, so they probably fit comfortably
There
now.
you go.
36 won't be on the stressed end of it. Hey, if you're coming up for the game this weekend for Florida or a baseball weekend soon, get your stay at the Inn at the Mill booked now. They don't have a 2-night minimum, but boy, it's a great way to spend the weekend, whether it's baseball, basketball, the AMP. Boy, there's going to be some good shows there. Crystal Bridges, whatever it is. The Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800. It's where I stay. You'll love it. 443-1800 or inatthemill.com.
Clay's going to join us on the other side. Hour 3 of the Morning Rush is next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard. That's Leaf Guard Gutters, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system that's guaranteed to never ever clog that's on the market. And how important is that? If you have old regular gutters clogged with muck and mud and shingle grit, add some of this rainwater, toss in freezing temperatures, and now you got a disaster on your hands. That frozen concoction that's just hanging on could cost you big bucks if it rips away from your roof. Stop the insanity. Get Leaf Guard Gutters and rest easy. Act now and save your hard-earned money by taking advantage of the winter savings sale. Half off labor on a complete Leaf Guard gutter system. New orders only. Some restrictions may apply. This sale does not include material costs, so make sure you ask a sales associate for all the deets on that and the 18 months no interest financing, as well as senior and military discounts. The winter savings sale at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Call them now at 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What's new in 23 at the Golf Nut? Callaway Paradigm Woods and Irons in stock February 24th, and Cobra Aerojet Woods and Irons arriving February 9th. New Titleist Pro V1 will be in stock January 24th, and new golf bags and shoes arriving daily. Book a time on their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play a round of golf on one of their mini courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, cloudy skies and much cooler temperatures as the temperatures will fall from the 50s into the 30s north, low 40s south. Or should see partly cloudy skies later on tonight, and overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 20s, sunny mid to upper 40s Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
So Arkansas will inbound it right in front of us. Council will be the trigger man. Ricky drops it into Black. Got to shoot. Black drives the rim. Kick out. Devo. Three-pointer blocked by Radford. Picked up by Washington. That's it. That is it. A&M has won the game. Arkansas wins the ball game. A&M wins the ball game 62-56. The Aggies outscored the Razorbacks 38-23 after halftime.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. Hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. Recruiting Thursday. Clay Henry set to join us. Got a couple of funny texts in relation to our last jeans conversation. Tommy's is 36-30. I'm a 34-32. Emmett in Springdale is a 30-36. So he's tall and slender, man. And we've got B, who's a 52. He said it's really difficult for him to find skinny jeans.
Yeah, well, in a 52.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one thing I'm glad they don't make is waist size 52 skinny jeans. But yeah, I'm on this diet. I want to tell you kind of about this weight loss with Vici Aesthetics and Wellness coming up in a little bit. But I'm down a little bit. But I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I can get the 36 maybe down to a 32 or 3 at some point. I don't think I can get below that.
So should I keep?
But how do I get the inseam up? That's what I hadn't figured out. What could I do to go from a 30 inseam to a 34? I hadn't figured out how to get taller.
Your height. Okay.
that's the program I can't figure out how to get on. All right, Clay Henry in just a second. We're brought to you by our friends at Modular Orange. If your business is struggling to find new leads and you hadn't figured out why you're not being found on Google and you're just the online presence that you have is lacking, might be your website or maybe the lack of a website. If you think Facebook, well, I got a Facebook page and we got 800 followers, that's not a website. And trust me, in the Google algorithms and all of that, it's not doing you any favors.
6%.
Time to talk to our friends at Modular Orange. They can build you a great-looking website that will be found online, and it includes everything for $95 a month. I know you think it's too good to be true, but I wouldn't keep telling you about this if it wasn't true. They'll write it, design it, launch it, host it, secure it, everything. You don't have to worry about a thing, and you just start paying them $95 a month once it's ready. They don't even charge you a dime till it's launched and up and live. I mean, you have no risk here. 479-755-3043, 755-3043, or go to modularorange.com and see exactly what I'm talking about.
Clay, there's nothing more on planet Earth that I want to know than what is the current inseam of your jeans and what does it say, length? There's nothing more I want to know than on this Thursday than that question.
Well, there's just some things that I don't reveal, but that's fine. 32.
32?
30. Clay wears a 30-32 in jeans.
That's for my left leg.
Well, I was giving you some credit on the waist on that first number. So
38, 32. And I've been there. I got a little nervous a couple of years ago and bought some 40s, but I don't. I got those soft, relaxed ones.
Yeah.
Those. They got a little elasticity in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've determined that I didn't need the 40s, so I didn't throw them away because I just got through 3 duck camps, and the food's pretty good. And then I went to fishing camp 5 days, and food was pretty good. And TNN's got me on a diet now.
Yeah, well,
I walked in walking.
Yeah. Well, this team keeps shooting 1 of 10 in the second half. We're all going to need to get some bigger britches because we're all going to be, eaten and depressed on it. So last night, I mean, is it as simple as they shot their way out in the second half? What'd you see in this Arkansas A&M game?
Yeah, and it's Tom Murphy kind of hit on it a little bit. I thought they got tired in the last 5 minutes. Devo, there were about 4 plays in a row that it came down to him on both ends of the floor. And, of course, he turned his man loose at the end of the first half. They gave up a 3 on the inbounds plays. He got screened and looked like just didn't go through those screens very well. I didn't think they were great screens. He's just kind of, bouncing off guys in the lane when he could have kept up with that guy, I thought. But there were, he was involved in a lot of the plays, turnovers, and situations at the end, and played 39 minutes. And I get it. He's an important piece, but I looked at minutes played, and that's what jumped out at me. And you think, well, you had Nick available. I know that the Aggies kind of jumped on him at the start of the second half. The game looked like it might get away from them, but then they got the lead. I think there was an opportunity to get Nick out there. He didn't play well the first go-round in the first half, and that probably impacted most of his decision.
Heard Tom Hart reference Hog Stats. I don't have it right in front of me, but Arkansas was 39-0 when holding their opponent to 25 or fewer points in the first half. I believe I've got that worded right. So, I mean, when you think about all of that and really what happened in the first 8 or 10 minutes of the game where A&M had, 4 points in the first 7 or 8 minutes?
They were stuck on 4.
Yeah, I mean, they were stuck there for a while. That even takes a little more of makes it a little more painful in the gut punch when you consider you could have run away with it there a little bit.
Yeah, Arkansas was stuck on 8.
Yeah.
And then stuck on 11. So it's not like they were doing a whole lot. Both teams played really good defense, and it took, some time to kind of figure out what was going on, what might work. But, you talked about the 3-point shooter or whatever, but, I mean, look at the free throw shooting. Devo missed 3 free throws in crunch time that were huge, 1-on-1 situations.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to step up on the road. your leader's got to make free throws, and I'm not blaming him. The other guys all had plays, and there were they disappeared on some chances, left their big man alone on the defensive backboard in crunch time. Got a couple of stick backs. So there's opportunities for them to win at crunch time. Maybe they just were giving out. Now, having said that, they weren't supposed to win this game, guys. You don't go on the road and beat the second place team in the league very often. It just doesn't happen. And these guys got a chance to win the league. That would be a stunner, but they're only one game back of Alabama. So I did not think they were going to win the game. I give them a lot of credit for how they played at Baylor and how they played at Texas A&M, and they weren't supposed to win this game. Almost were in position to do that, but they just ran out of gas at the end, in my estimation.
Clay, you referenced Alabama. They go into Knoxville, lose their first conference game of the season. Tennessee just shut them down defensively. Now A&M, as you said, is just one game back. What did you make of the Alabama loss last night in Thompson-Boling Arena?
As expected. They're the newly crowned number one. They were going to lose. First of all, Tennessee, as recently as a couple of weeks ago, they were in the top five. Mm-hmm. So there's not a whole lot of difference between Tennessee and Alabama. And Tennessee's got a great defensive club. Alabama was right there at the end. It was 4-point game, 58-54. Neither team, had any real answer for the other team's defense. I did not expect Alabama to go undefeated, and this would be a game that you started the season and you looked at the power of Tennessee and the power of Alabama, and you said, well, there's the one that they'll probably lose, and they did.
I thought it was funny. Bruce, for whatever reason, Tommy doesn't believe in his Vols. I told him they were going to beat him in Neyland earlier last season.
Typical fan.
And then I was like, I think they're going to win this week, and they did that night. They did it defensively in basketball, offensively in football. But Clay, Bruce sent us a picture of him smoking a cigarello last night. I'm sure there was some smoke inside of Thompson-Boling Arena, just like there is in football after what they did in Neyland Stadium last year.
You're talking about Bruce Stanton?
Yes.
Bruce, to the spoils go the victors, and I sent some text to some of my buddies that are Tennessee guys, including Bill Fulmer. They were excited after this game. I mean, how could you not be? You take down number one. There's a rivalry, probably more so in football than it is in basketball. Their rival in basketball is Kentucky, but rolling pretty good, and that's they deserve the credit.
So what do you make of the SEC standings right now? Bama's still top dog. A&M's chomping at the bit right behind them. Tennessee gets a big win, as does Kentucky. Arkansas right now is tied with Georgia as the 10th place team.
Oh.
What do you make of where the SEC is right now in basketball and where Arkansas is in that pack?
Well, Arkansas's got some games down the stretch that they need to win. The team that really just kind of confuses you more than any is Kentucky. And we just saw Mississippi State, and Mississippi State made a little bit of a run at Kentucky at the end, but that's a game that Kentucky went into to the hump and really had the game under control most of the way. They had the ball with a chance at the end, but it didn't even really get a shot up. The Kentucky's, I thought they were going to just slump and just fall right out of the picture, but they're in the NCAA tournament picture. It's the stretch run is what's really important for Arkansas, Kentucky, and then it really got muddied last night when Florida lost their big man. They could have had something to say about what goes on at the NCAA tournament I don't think without Castleton. He broke his hand, I guess, right?
Right. Or maybe it's the left. I don't know if it's the right or the left, but yeah, he broke his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think, Alabama will probably roll on through and win the championship, but Texas A&M they've got a lot of confidence, and they've got a lot of offensive weapons, guys that can get to the basket, and they can make enough threes, and they play really good defense. Great coaching. And then there's the other teams that just seems like they're up and down, that you can't really figure them. And from one game to the next, somebody steps up and is like, well, they're really good, but then they don't play with any consistency.
Well, to me, a lot of other things have to happen, but to me, you got to be at least 9-9 to feel comfortable. And that means win 3 of your last 5. That means beat Florida, means beat Georgia, means beat Kentucky. And then if you win,
I would agree with that, Tommy.
I just can't see that if you're 8-10 in this league, and you say they're 10th this morning, if you finish outside the top 6 or 7 of the standings, you may have a net ranking of 25 or 6 or 7. But I don't think it may not be enough, Clay. I just can't see you getting in with a losing record unless there's extenuating circumstances with just the landscape and those teams that are kind of on the bubble with you.
If you're below 500 and you're sitting there on Selection Sunday, I'd be really nervous.
Yeah.
I just would.
But at 9-9, I feel okay because of who you play.
9-9 for Arkansas, 9-9 with victories over Oklahoma and Cincinnati. With the way those two teams are playing, I think that helps them. Those two games, especially.
Well, and I think San Diego State's 21 in the polls. I don't know what their net ranking is.
Yep, yep.
That didn't hurt.
That's a neutral site game. And then the Oklahoma victory, they've really played well. That's a neutral site game. I think those two wins really help them if they're 9-9.
Yeah. So, to me, you got to win 3 of your last 5. You just can't be the number 8 team in your standings and feel like you're there.
This is really odd to say. They need to pull for Kentucky all the way to the end so that win at Rupp is meaningful.
Now, if
quad one.
If you find a way to win one of those 2 road games at Bama or Tennessee, that I don't even know what the losing record what they did, but that would be hard to gloss over for the committee. Even if you were 8-10 in the league, might have to win 2 games at the tournament or something at that point. But
don't lose again at home. And that's not just said. You can't say that and know that it's going to happen. Got some tough home games left.
Well, and you can't lose the Georgia game because of their RPI, which
quad 3.
Beginning the week, it was terrible. It was 123. I don't know where it's at this morning, but you just can't lose to somebody outside the top 100. You're probably out at that point. And
you're preaching to the choir. I'm right there with you.
The other game we forget about that's not, and you got an RPI this morning, or net ranking rather, this morning of 21, but that Louisville game way back when over in Maui, Louisville's won like 3 games this year. That's still a game that's, I don't say it's going to be the difference in getting the tournament or not, but it's something that's certainly not good on your resume. Just the mere fact of playing them.
I got you. So you're about to inherit some genes that have been in some places that just are not good.
Yeah.
We know those genes have been in situations that you don't really want to think about. So we need to call the guys at Bet Saracen and see what the odds are that you ever wear these jeans.
I'm not going to give them to him. He's not going to. Well, you have to swear that you're
going
to wear these.
I'm going to wear these jeans.
You may give them to him, and he thinks it's good intentions. But when push comes to shove, and it's like, and his wife, Laura, says, you're not wearing those jeans. I know where they've been. I can only imagine where those jeans have been. He's not going to put them on.
Laura thinks I'm a sweetheart. I'm a good kid off these airwaves.
Are they complete, or do they are they got holes punched in the knees?
Nah, I wouldn't give those to Tommy. He wouldn't wear them. There's a tan pair of jeans and a dark pair of jeans.
The ones that have holes in them, those are the expensive ones, right?
Yeah, which is stupid. Yeah. I don't understand my generation or the generation behind me why they
Thank
do that.
you. Thank you, Ty.
I just bought this $200 pair of jeans, and there's just these two gaping holes where the knees are at. And you're just like,
Ty's like this team on the road. He can't close. I'm not worried about anything nefarious with these jeans, Clay.
Yeah,
I'm not at all. So.
I don't think you can start.
Blackline them before you wear them. Golly. Yeah. Let's talk about something positive. This baseball team, Clay. DVH announced the starting pitching yesterday. You got Hagen Smith Friday against the Longhorns, McIntyre on Saturday, Hunter Holland on Sunday. I mean, I know you're going to be invested in this weekend. You're not going to go, but you're going to watch. What do you like about this?
So what all that tells me is when I look at those three starters, then Brady Taggart is the closer again. Okay. And you got it really sets up nice for me. You know, I don't know whether they'll go 3-0, 2-1, or 0-3. Doesn't really matter. You know, I'll be watching to see how they play defense. They lost their middle infield, and it really, when you talk about it, from third base to shortstop to second to first, that probably was the best Arkansas defense in history. Unbelievable at all four positions, and that helped their pitching so much. I want to see how their defense holds up in the infield. That to me is the biggest question mark for this team. And the starting pitching, I like their pitching. I like what they have in the bullpen. They can play defense and they can catch, and I think they'll score enough runs. But that's the key. If you don't give good teams extra outs, so I'll be watching that defense this weekend.
All right. Well, we've determined that it'd be okay to go 1-2 as long as you beat Texas. If you go 2-1 and you lose to Texas, we're out on that deal.
Man, I hate to say this, but everything you say is I'm with you, Tommy. I mean, if you can keep that other guy quiet, we probably can just keep saying yes and keep checking, the yes boxes all the way through.
Yeah. So
it's always good for public discourse, Clay. You got to have some difference in opinion on these airwaves, dude.
Well, Clay, be careful.
I'm losing you.
Yeah, well, be careful going. I know you're headed to campus, do some interviews, and
I'm rolling into Fayetteville right now. Yeah, right. I'm going to visit with the new chancellor, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure he is as well. So we'll talk to you. Are you on halftime tomorrow?
That is correct. Yeah,
right.
We're going to do Fridays for a little while because Phil's, the way it's laid out, we'll have some early exits. And so me and Matt will, you know what? Matt's pretty nice to tie. So the tie bashing, I have to carry it by myself.
Matt likes
well,
me.
It is a burden. It is a burden.
Somehow Matt Jones likes you, Ty.
He's a good guy, man, on and off the
lots
field.
Lots of patience. He's got lots of patience.
Oh.
Clay,
he is a good guy.
Clay, be careful. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank y'all.
All right, Clay Henry on his way to interview the chancellor. Give the chancellor's marching orders. Tell him how things should go over there.
Chancellor Robinson's taller than me, but you think he'd accept a pair of my jeans? Like,
would they be high waters on him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how tall Chancellor Robinson is, but he's
never been around him, but he looks taller than us. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, hey, one thing, I'm not even taller, but can you tell I'm a little thinner?
It's in the face.
That's exactly what someone else said. I don't feel it around the midsection yet, but my face does feel a little thinner. I'm down 12 pounds.
Get that jawline back for
Laura. Maybe. I don't think it's going to matter. It's probably cost me money. But, hey, 479-343-8424. That's a number you want to write down. You want to call, text. Maybe get your phone out. I'll give you a second. I'll give it to you again. That's Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. VICI. That's Vici Aesthetics and Wellness in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Springdale. It's a weight loss game changer. 3 weeks in, 12 pounds down, suppresses your appetite.
4 pounds a week.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't really. I've been refereeing, but I haven't had a chance to get to the gym and kind of get in a routine. As soon as basketball's behind me, I'm going to really hit it on that. But this is the way people lose weight now. So if you're looking to lose some weight, do what I did. Call Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. Call or text 479-343-8424. 343-8424 for Beachy Aesthetics and Wellness.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Hunter Uritek, Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service for high horsepower.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
In your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on Made in the USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have two-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with a manager approval or a SEMA financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 4054 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chuck is a living legend in this state. And anytime I get to talk to Chuck, it's a privilege and an honor to speak to you. And as long as you, Ty, you know you're a little bit behind the years.
Nice speed, Black to Walsh inside, layup good. And he draws the foul.
Do you enjoy watching Arkansas press conferences? Find all of them on our YouTube channel. You can hear from Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Razorback players. Just search Hit That Line and click subscribe.
Some more thoughts from Eric Musselman coming up in just a sec. It is a recruiting Thursday here on the Morning Rush. Also want to talk about this Chiefs parade thing and kind of how that ties into Arkansas in just a bit.
All right, well, tomorrow we'll have our Fitzman Friday picks. We'll look at the lines from the Bet Saracen app. They'll be coming out tomorrow, so we'll take a look at that. Now that the NFL season and the Super Bowl's behind us, what's the next big deal?
XFL, baby.
Wrong answer. March Madness.
March Madness.
You got to have have the Bet Saracen app because, I mean, what is it? The 16th? I think it is the 16th is when the tournament begins.
Is that what you're talking about?
That Friday's the 17th. I don't count the Tuesday game.
You don't count the day dip?
No, that didn't work. So, I mean, you need to get it, download it now, get used to it. Maybe you can practice on a few XFL games. I would probably practice on some conference tournament and some end-of-season games.
I'm a Battlehawks guy. St. Louis Battlehawks. That's my team now. So we're going there this weekend. No Cardinals to bet on, so I'm betting on the Battlehawks.
Is that their XFL team? What is the Battlehawks?
It's their XFL team.
Okay.
They're on the road this weekend.
At least you
on
care.
Sunday.
So, Bet Saracen, go to betsaracen.com, Apple App Store, wherever you get your apps, download it. If you want some help, you can listen to us. We'll be a little bit of help. Or they got a great video that will help you a lot more and tell you exactly what to do. The in-game stuff, the parlays, that's where people have a lot of fun. You don't have to bet $50. You can bet $5. It doesn't have to be a big amount. Just have fun with it. Be comfortable, have fun with it, and I think that's you'll find it to be entertaining. That's betsaracen.com.
Anyone going to bet on Tiger out there in California? He tees off at 2 o'clock today.
No, but I'll probably watch some of that. They're promoting that pretty heavy.
You got good stuff this weekend. Got Arkansas against Florida. You've got College Baseball Showdown. You got the Genesis Invitational. There's a lot of stuff you can get into this weekend.
You're not getting the Flow Sports and keeping up with the Hogs?
I'll watch the Hogs game on Saturday at the
baseball
bar establishment. I'm going to be in St. Louis, so no. I will
you don't
not
have internet
pay
in St. Louis?
Not paying the $30 for that. You and Chuck can recap it on Monday, and I'll just listen and ask questions.
Oh, so us do the heavy lifting while you're going to Mardi Gras this weekend?
I'm on vacation this weekend, man. It's like you took 2 days off last week.
Well, yeah, but that was for fishing. That's far more important than vacation.
This is Mardi Gras. It's way
far
more important than
fishing. Far more important than eating Cajun food and drinking Hurricanes.
It is the second or third best Mardi Gras in the country behind New Orleans. That list you read off earlier, I looked at that. They had like New York, Houston. Oh, trash. You got New Orleans, you got Mobile, Alabama, and St. Louis, Missouri are the places you go for Mardi Gras. St. Louis is closer, and I think New Orleans is overrated.
I've heard Mobile's really good.
Mm-hmm.
New York's got everything. I don't understand your disdain for New York City.
I don't have a huge glitz and glamour obsession like some people. Like, I've got to go to New York. I've got to go to Vegas. Now,
I've been there, but I mean, you've never been to Vegas, right?
No, but if the basketball team's there, that's different. Sports can suck me into anything. Sports can suck me into anywhere in the United States of America or anywhere else outside the country. But this idea that, hey, I have to see this monument or I have to see this scenery, it's like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe that's a transition in 20 years that I'll have that sense or whatever. I do like scenery. That's why I like to drive places, because I like driving through shrubbery and foliage.
Shrubbery? Who in the hell likes driving through shrubbery?
It's like seeing a
shrubbery. What do you mean by you're driving through shrubbery?
Isn't that the foliage is the leaves changing, but isn't the shrubbery like the leaves falling and stuff on like the road?
You don't have a clue what you're talking about.
What is
You're
it?
trying to figure out how to land the plane here, and you have no clue.
It crashed.
Yeah.
Just crashed. Kind of like the basketball team did at the end of last night's game because they didn't adjust, according to Eric Musselman.
We've got to be able to counter when another team makes a run. I've said it for 4 years. There's 3 runs in every game. You control 2. I mean, we led the game for 31 minutes on the road, and we're unable to close the game out.
That girl was patting your shoulder, giving you a look, and you just didn't close for the 6th or 7th time on the road this year? Baylor, Mizzou, LSU, A&M.
She was patting you on the shoulder. That's a little too high. But anyway,
What else?
listen, you had a 12-point lead in this game, and it all changed with seconds to go in the first half, and you wobbled. You spilt your drink on her a little bit. Right? You got bumped by a guy who kind of making room at the bar, and a little bit of your cocktail spilt out, and it hit her shoe. She had open-toe shoes on.
Did you get too drunk?
No, I mean, but you got thrown off your game, and then you never recovered. Never got your balance back. That's what this game felt like. And then A&M comes out and goes bang, 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 3, 3, 3. And the next thing you know, the game's like tied. And then you just puke on yourself. 42-42, and then boom, it just the bottom falls out on you.
Yeah.
Gross. And you could see it coming. I mean, I never thought for a second Arkansas was going to win that game in the second half.
All too familiar.
In the entire first half, we're going to win this game. Second half, not a chance.
23
rough.
second half points. I'm trying to think what else I jotted down here.
Yeah, I mean, how many games you going to win scoring 23 in the second half?
We got a video review to go our way.
How many high school games could you go to and watch a team score more than 23 in 16 minutes?
Plenty
Most
of them.
Yeah. Most of them. I mean, you can blame anybody you want, but there's where the game goes. One thing you got to do, though, Saturday was a 1 o'clock game, play Florida.
I believe that's correct.
I'd be on the door of CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers at 11 o'clock when they open up.
That would be the correct way to do things on Saturday. Not just Saturday, today, Friday, the entire weekend. Keith and their team will hook you up with the best burgers, best fries, and best shakes in all of Arkansas. Grilled onions and grilled mushrooms for me. Grilled jalapenos for Tommy. Chicken sandwich in Northwest Arkansas. Also the salads as well. Hey, it's the same great burgers, fries, and shake you've always known. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. And let me tell you, they are at CJ's.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
This is former Razorback Kanoy Kennedy, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Time to get into your SEC update. Last night's basketball action featured a couple different teams. Alabama goes on the road to Knoxville, loses in Thompson-Boling Arena. Tennessee played fantastic. Defensively, they're all over them. I think Bama had 19 turnovers. Brandon Miller was off. Clowney was off. You had some guys just hit some big-time shots for the Tennessee Volunteers. That's going to be a tough place to win. there and in Tuscaloosa.
Bama, what was it? They had like 23 turnovers. They are 24 points off turnovers. I heard it. I didn't print the box score, but it was turnovers and points off turnovers that killed Alabama in that game.
Yep. Colin Castleton broke his hand in the Ole Miss game, or broke something in his hand. I would expect him not to be in uniform playing on Saturday when Arkansas gets to host the Florida Gators. Never root for injuries.
He's done for the year, I would imagine.
Yeah, you never root for injuries, but this might end up going out in your favor.
Well, and you're right. But Arkansas needs to take care of Arkansas. We can talk about other teams and injuries and best player being out. Florida still found a way to win and play. And Musk talked about this last night because they kind of doubled up with a Florida preview at the end of his press conference. He said, hey, and clearly he had spent the pregame watching a lot of that game. He had a very good feeling and understanding of what happened in the game last night against Ole Miss. And but Arkansas's problems are internal. They need to take care of themselves. Quit, I don't care who's missing on the other team. Don't take anything for granted. You need to fix your own problems in your own house. And we'll worry about the opponent later.
Kentucky gets a 3-point road win on the road in Starkville in the Hump. That was a great game last night. Was it you or Clay that said we should root for Kentucky based on
Clay? He's right.
Yeah, it's weird coming out of our mouths this morning, but yeah, he's correct.
Well, because you need that game to be as meaningful and as impactful, and they're beating some other teams. But no, Clay's spot on that.
So the SEC standings are.
By the way, Bama had 19 turnovers last night. 19.
It was a lot of them.
Whew.
Alabama 12-1 right now in conference. A&M 11-2. Tennessee 9-4. Auburn 8-5. You're tied for 10th right now with the Georgia Bulldogs at 6-7. You host them next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm forgetting what day that is, but it is the midweek game before you go to Tuscaloosa and go to
Tuesday night, 8:00 game, SEC Network.
Yeah. That is the matchup next week. Kentucky's at
Can't lose that game.
Kentucky and Auburn right now getting tied at 8-5 for 4th place. Doesn't look like you're going to.
Tennessee and A&M play that night too.
Yeah, that'll
be the 6:00 game. So
you've got what should be a pretty entertaining SEC tournament. Right now, you're set to play on Thursday. Something crazy would have to happen in these remaining 5 games for you to somehow sneak into that 4th slot. But my guess, you're playing in Nashville on Thursday, and hopefully you can win Thursday and Friday. If you get beat on Saturday, whatever. But, based on kind of where you are right now, I think you got to win 2 games. If you close out all the games at home and you lose in Knoxville and Tuscaloosa.
You're tied for 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
That puts you playing Wednesday, right? Right now, if it ended today?
11th through 14th is
sure about that?
Wednesday. Positive.
Okay. Because, 5, 6, 7, 8 are the next ones to get a bye. So, 9, 10.
Well, you might have just jinxed me on that. I thought it was just 2 games that are. I'll pull that back up.
Right. Then there's the teams at the bottom that have to.
I thought it was just 2 games that opener.
I don't know. There's too many teams that make the conference tournament if you don't know the truth about
didn't
it.
Didn't they eliminate them?
That was like a 1-year deal. But and then you had one team that was on probation that couldn't play, so it messed everything up. But yeah, you don't want to be playing that very first night when those first 4 teams have to play.
Yeah, it's
10 through 14.
First night's 12 versus 13 and 11 versus 14, and then the others play the next night. So yeah, they're good right now.
Yeah.
They just can't
barely.
Lose out. Yeah, well, like you said, got to figure that out. That's
you want to be firmly in the top. Honestly, you got to be at least 9-9, and you hope that gets you in the top 7 in this league. Because if you're 8th or 9th in this league with an 8-10 record, I don't care if your net ranking's 21 or 3 or 5 or whatever. That is shaky ground.
That's a tough bill to swallow.
That is a top seed in the NI tournament kind of resume right there.
I'd rather Arkansas be a 10 seed than I would them be an 8 or 9.
Well, it just puts a lot of pressure on what you have to do. Now you have to go to Nashville and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be in a situation. Well, if we go and you win a game or 2, it's gravy. And that's where you've kind of been the last few years. Things are really going to have to turn around with Nick Smith's presence.
Mm-hmm.
And what we never thought was when he returned, you'd go 0-2 out of the gate.
Yeah. It's a little tighter than we thought it would be. There's no question about that. Other SEC news, a fake Twitter account put out the Vandy Whistler passing away yesterday. Did you see that?
I did not.
He's still alive. It was a fake account. So for those that thought the Vanderbilt Commodores baseball fan, and there's 2 of them, but the older guy I think his name's David Pack. He's still alive. That was confirmed by a Vanderbilt beat reporter.
Most
yesterday.
obnoxious fan in sports?
Hard to say otherwise. Hard to say.
How many other fan bases would say hognoxious is the most?
Bobby Schmidl? I mean, I don't know if Bobby's well known in the SEC outside of.
They put him on TV a lot.
Maybe I just
think it's baseball. I mean, of course, the Vandy Whistler's only baseball too. But
point in the stare.
Yeah.
You got Eddie in Clarksville for football. You got Scuba Steve for basketball, and you got Hognoxious and K-Dog for baseball.
I haven't heard from Eddie in a while.
I know.
I heard him pop up on the post-game show following, I guess it was Saturday. No, it was the Kentucky game.
That's
the first time I've heard from Eddie in a while.
I'm like you. I haven't heard from him in a minute either. All right, last thing.
Glad to know he's doing well.
Yeah. Last thing, Tommy, in your SEC update. Paul Feinbaum posted a good question yesterday. Schedule football in a flux right now in the SEC.
Right.
What is the rivalry you protect at all cost in this league? And we can make this an Arkansas-related question. We can also make it an SEC football question.
Well, I mean, from the biased, Razorback red glasses view, Arkansas, Texas, right? That's the game that we demand be played on an annual basis. So, I mean, if we get our choice and we send Hunter Yurachek as our proxy to the league office to demand one game gets put on the schedule, it's Arkansas, Texas. Now, from a league perspective, what's the biggest deal? It's probably making right now, and you don't want to look too much in today's lens, and then this game doesn't become something, but wouldn't the game you'd want if you're ESPN more than anything would be Bama to play Georgia every year? Right now, that's the two Goliaths. Now, many would say, well, you got to have the Iron Bowl. Well, that's not always a great game, but would it be 20 million people, 22? I mean, it'd be NFL-type numbers when Georgia and Bama play in the regular season, and assuming they're both in the top 5.
Highest-rated college football games the last couple of years have been 16 and 17 million. It was Michigan, Ohio State 2 years ago, and then last year, I'm forgetting the teams that matched up. But, yeah, they've been pretty – and I think that, like you're saying, Georgia and Bama could potentially top that.
You said rivalries. I don't really consider Bama and Georgia a rivalry.
Who would get more of an audience? Bama and Texas, who I think play this.
Well, that's another one right there.
Yeah, they play
while they may not be good, that's going to draw a huge number.
They play in Tuscaloosa this year. Would that get a bigger number than Bama, Georgia? Even though that Georgia's a better program.
If the game is good, I mean, it may not be two great teams with single digits by their name going in, but they're two Goliath brands. And if the game's competitive for 4 quarters, like it was in Austin, people will stay with the game and you'll have a big number.
I found myself cheering for Texas that game. I can't count on one hand how many times that happened before.
I mean, I get competitive balance and you fear having a division champion that isn't amongst your best 2 teams. But and maybe it's just the old school. I mean, I just really wish we were staying with divisions and we could keep a lot of the rivalries intact by doing that. You're going to go to 9 games. It's going to be unbalanced.
You and Roy Kramer.
But if we've went through this. I don't want to lay out the blueprint again, but if you did it by moving Bama and Auburn to the east, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas to the west, and you just go through the list of the games that would be played by division, you wouldn't miss any of the classic rivalry games and the new ones that need to be played.
Oh,
but they're not going to do it that way. I mean, that ship has sailed.
Media Day's coming up in a couple weeks in July. They'll probably already have the schedule out by then, so your idea to Greg Sankey will be.
Well, it's dead on arrival anyway. I mean, you can talk about these ideas. I'm not the only one that's had that thought. The divisions are dead in sports. They don't want them. They got rid of them in basketball. It's been 10 years now, close to it, maybe right around there.
Mm-hmm.
Divisions, they just fear them because you end up with a champion of a division playing in a championship game that is not any good.
Yeah.
So, that happens, but I just think that's the exception, not the rule. But it would sure make scheduling better. And from a fan perspective, I like the idea of playing Oklahoma every year, Texas every year, Missouri every year, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, and A&M. Those are all drivable locations.
Yeah.
You can plan around it. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at it selfishly because that's what I want.
That's fine. All right, let's take some calls real quick as we close out today's program. JR is in Shady Grove. You're up first, JR. Go ahead. JR, good morning, buddy. You there?
I got a hypothetical question here. The way that the team's going right now, if we lose 4 of the next 5, is that NIT bound team?
That would make you. What are they? Are they 6 and?
Well,
they're
that's gloom
6 and
and
7.
doom.
They're 6 and 7 right now, so that make you 7 and 11 in conference. Yeah, you're not. You're going.
You're not
NIT.
even a 1 seed in the NIT.
Nope. Yeah.
You're like a
so
3 seed again.
Okay, so what? All right, so let's just do a little scenario here. What happens to these one and dones that are a huge part of this team?
Well,
are they done?
Nick
Do
Smith
they
and
come
Anthony
back?
Black and maybe Ricky Council are still gone. The money's going to be too good. Jordan Walsh is the one you got to wonder. He hadn't had a good enough year. I think he could use another year.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't really like the trajectory of the program. I mean, these guys are no better right now than they were 2 months ago as far as the mistakes, not playing together.
I think Musk said it pretty good, JR, that you've had 6 different teams. I mean, you talk about trajectory and I mean, you had so many different lineup changes and so many different scenarios with the personnel available. So I think that's I hear what you're saying, and there's some merit to it, but I don't, this is also, I mean, how many times are you going to have 3 McDonald's All-Americans? Or 3, right?
Yep.
3 McDonald's
Wallace
All-Americans.
Blacksmith.
Yeah. I mean, that's a one-off, too.
All right, real quick, Paul, you got 30 seconds. You're in Mountain Home this morning. What's up?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand this Texas thing with you guys. Tommy Kraft keeps talking about want to play Texas.
Yeah.
That's the last team I want.
Why?
I just assume Texas go to the California coast.
Well, you're in the 2%.
I hate Texas.
Everybody in this state wants to play Texas.
I'd like for you to do a survey and let's see how many of us out here in the state of Arkansas like Texas and like to see play Texas every year. And if you get this survey saying that the whole state would like to do it, well, I'll quit hollering about it.
It'd be like 90-10.
Yeah, thanks for the call,
No,
Paul.
you're just guessing.
No, I'm not. I've lived here for 47 years. No, I'm not guessing.
I don't. That's the first, I think, caller I've ever taken on Sports Talk Radio here in the state of Arkansas that doesn't want to play the Texas Longhorns. Paul, you're definitely in the minority, man.
Hey, we made it 3 hours following a loss, and no one blamed the refs for it.
It's because it was our fault, not theirs.
Is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas